Hello Pisces, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm really excited to have you here. We're going to dive in with that yes or no kind of tarot. See what's going on, get a more in-depth look at the energies. I'm just sort of doing them sporadically whenever I feel guided, so let's dive right in. If you are someone who has been supporting the channel with your comments, your likes, your subscription, your shares, I do just want to tell you thank you, thank you. I do deeply appreciate all of you and your support. If you are new to the channel, I welcome you. Just keep in mind that these are general readings, and so take what resonates and leave the rest. Here we go. For Pisces, please, Spirit, for Pisces, for my Pisces collective, Pisces. Okay. Whoa. Okay, Pisces. What do you guys have going on here? Keep in mind, these cards that I'm using are not for, this type of tarot, but we're using them for this type of tarot. And it's been really helpful. I feel like we've gotten some really in-depth messages. I am, with the police and the bank failure, I am getting an energy of, it's like almost sort of ignoring red flags until we can't anymore, until it's a situation in failure. Part of this is that what I'm getting is that, when you're investing and you're investing and you're investing in another person or in a relationship, and then they're failing to also invest, and not only that, but they're taking out of the account, it gets to a place where it just isn't sustainable. And it's just, because here's the thing, here's what I'm getting, especially with setting the record straight here. This can be a lot of talk, right? Like if we're saying, and I'm just going to use this as an example because these cards are out, right? But if we're saying, like, out of every paycheck, I'm going to donate, or I'm going to invest, $10 into this account, and you invest $10 into this account, and at the end of the year, we're going to take what is in the account and go on a vacation. And so dutifully, every paycheck, you're putting in $10, and you're thinking that the other person is too. You don't even think you need to check on it because you're both so excited about where you're going. And even the entire year, you're talking about where you could go and how much money will be in the account and how what's going to happen with it and how you're going to do it and all this stuff. And then it comes to the end of the year, and suddenly this person is like nowhere to be found. They're not answering your calls. They're not showing up. You're like, what the heck? Or they picked a fight with you and exploded and left. Or they're ghosting. And it's like, you go, oh my God, we're about to take this vacation. We're about to, make our final plans. We're about, like, there's so many exciting things happening. Where the heck did this person go? And then you go check the bank account and they never put $10 in. And not only that, but they took your $10 out. And so there's nothing in it. And that's how this feels. And we do this energetically all the time with people, where, in fact, like hours ago, James Van Praagh just put out a video about energy vampires. It's like, people, almost everything I have found with people, that a lot of what they do because, like, they'll live a lie because it suits how they want to see themselves. And instead of doing the work and actually becoming the person that they want to be, or that they're capable of being, or that they feel even guided to be, They would rather lie and pretend and then dismiss and avoid and detach from anything that might hold any kind of mirror up to them that that's not who they are. So, or that isn't the truth. And so, and it's crazy because you can really see this like at the end of relationships, where you sort of start to realize, I just walked into a power dynamic where it's like there was someone who never liked me, never, and literally the first time they met me literally told me, I will never like you, and here's why. I didn't even open my mouth. I didn't say anything. There was nothing transpired there. It was just like, I already know I don't like you, and I'm not gonna like you, and we're not gonna be friends. And literally came out and said that to me. And then there's another person in this group, and she was like, oh yeah, we can be best friends. Oh yeah, like screw that person. That's ridiculous that like she came at you that way. And there were witnesses to this person coming at me this way. And she was like, oh yeah, screw that. And then little by little over the years, I am in a different like area than those two people. And those two people actually are of the same socioeconomic background. They're in similar kind of situations in a lot of ways. And I am not in the same situations that they are in. However, like we are linked by, by a way, right? I don't even know how to say it. Anyway, I was gone for a really long time. I show back up, and not that I'm expecting anything to be the same or whatever. And the third person who was like, oh yeah, screw that person, I sort of knew was not like the most loyal of people, and so anyway, I'm going way deep into this, but I found out, like I realized the relationship, like when I came back, I was like, oh wow, I could really see it. And I was like, this is untenable. And the thing is, I don't need either one of them to change. And I don't need any kind of different relationship with either one of them. And I don't need them to be anybody that they're not, right? But I can see it for what it is, and I can also see that what binds those two together is this commonality, and is that they are in the same place, and that we all have this relationship like where we're connected, but we can be as connected as we want to be, or as disconnected as we want to be. And anyway, the situation is that I feel like I'm making this so complicated because I don't just want to say something. Some people know this is my channel, so I don't like to like say anything, that like would hurt someone's feelings or would cause any kind of pain or distress. But the whole point of it is that I don't need those people to change, right? But yet I also don't need them to lie to me and tell me, yes, I am on your side. I am your person. Screw that person. When they're really actually pretty good friends with that person, and they spend a lot of time with that person, and they have a lot in common with that person. I don't need you to be on my side. I didn't tell you what happened with that person when I first met that person because I needed you to be on my side. I just told you to explain why I'm not with that person, why we are not close, why we do not speak. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm not going to force myself on anyone or in any situation. Like, I don't need to. So the situation is that sometimes when a relationship ends, or when something becomes clear, or when you realize that that person is a lot more attached to the lie, the third person actually said to me, I just want to be Switzerland. And that's a bunch of crap, because Switzerland requires two warring countries. So Switzerland is the person that is fueling the fire to keep the fire going so that they can perpetuate their idea of being Switzerland. They need other people. In order to be neutral, there has to be two other sides. I refuse to participate. I'm not going to be another side. I don't need that dynamic in my life. You know what I'm saying? And when you're unwilling to go along with the dynamic that people want you to be in order for them to continue their own idea of themselves, then you become somebody that they don't need in their life, because you're not perpetuating their own idea of themselves and why they're valuable and why they're good and why they're this and why they're that. You know what I'm saying? But it's not your responsibility or your duty to do that. And so in this case, it's kind of like with this person, it's getting to the place where you're going to see the bank account. You know, the reality is going to hit, you know, like we're not going on vacation. I've been lying to you this whole time. But while they were telling the lie, they needed it because it made them feel good. It made them feel like they were a part of a team and you were going on vacation and they were looking forward to it and it was something to talk about and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It made them interesting. It made them, you know, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's such a good idea. You're doing that? That's awesome. You know what I mean? But the minute it was like the reality was going to hit and their part where they were actually going to have to be responsible for their behavior comes up, they ghost, they leave, they bolt, and they'll blame you every single time. And so I feel like for some of you, you've had some kind of dynamic like that, okay? And it could be with 3 people, it could be with 2 people, it could be whatever. But for me, what it feels like is it was coming to the point where somebody was going to have to deal with reality that was in opposition to how they needed to see themselves or how they needed to feel about themselves for their own ego, for their own egoic purposes. This setting the record straight and total drama action, you know, you may have receipts, like you may have proof. You may have the proof that you deposited $10 every single time and that they didn't. You may be able to print out your bank statement and be like, look, you never really showed up for this. You weren't actually participating in it. This is why you've left. But at the same time, what the hell does it matter? Are you ever going to really trust that person to show up for you again? You know, are you really ever going to... Even if you put the bank statement in front of them, are they going to own up to it? Or are they going to go, well, that's your fault. We had problems all along, so I wasn't going to put my money into that account. And yeah, I took the money at the end of the account because I paid for X, Y, and Z, and you didn't pay for it, and I took it because I needed paid back for those things, and you weren't willing to pay me back. They'll come up with another lie to save their idea of themselves. It's self-preservation on a very egoic level. So some of you have been dealing with someone who is egoic, you know, and is in that energy where they're really, what they're really holding on to and what they're really choosing. It's not even like they're saying this relationship with Pisces and all the benefits that I get from this relationship with Pisces. No, they're not even going that far outside themselves. They're literally considering their ego and what they need, what they want to believe about themselves, how they want to see themselves, and how they want to feel about themselves. And they're not even getting so far as to give you any credit for anything, that you brought to the connection. It may come later because I see that coming here for this person. But I feel like in this initial thing, what this person is doing is holding on to their ego and their idea of themselves, their image, the way that they see themselves, the way that they feel about themselves. It's definitely coming from an ego. On the bottom of the deck, you have love story, once upon a time. I'm just going to let that sit there, and I'm going to clarify these for a sec. yeah, see, this was something that went from feeling like it was a golden opportunity, like something was finally working out for you, something was finally falling into place, to something that was very turbulent. And with the lightning, this always feels like very suddenly out of nowhere. We're not expecting it. You know, it's like the end of the year when you're ready for the vacation, and this person is like, guys, seriously, look at this card. Like, oh my God, these readings that we do like this, whoa. It says, reflections are true, trust what you see, and images distort, trust is obscured. This is this person. It doesn't matter if you set the record straight. It doesn't matter if you walk into the room and you say, look at the bank account. How can you deny this? It does not matter. When someone is trying to preserve their ego, they will grab and reach for any lie that comes to their mind in order to do that. And they will convince themselves that it is true. They will that's somebody who's not open to growing. That is someone who's really attached to their ego and to outcomes and to images and things like that. And so what you're trying to show them, what you're trying to just ask them about, like, okay, but where's the money? Okay, but you know, like, where you just, it's like you just want to deal with the facts, and you just want some honest response back to what you're asking. You just want them to show up with the truth, or just give you some explanation, even if it's, I just don't like you. You know what I mean? Tell it to me, like, give it to me straight. But no, this person is like, deny, 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 you know, come up with some other mirage, come up with some other thing, and then they're going to cling to that like it is a life raft. They're not like you in that way. You know, they're not seeking the truth. They're not seeking actual answers. They're literally seeking a way to hold on to the distorted image of how they see themselves, literally. And so you can set the record straight all day long, but the only person you need to set the record straight with is yourself, because this person is not going to hear it. Their literal life or existence depends on them never facing this, okay? Gosh, some of you, this had something to do with money. Some of you may have lost money. You may have dealt with someone and they may have really actually like taken money from you. It says grinding your gears, working too hard on it. And then, yes, it's a good investment, getting paid, saving up. I feel like this is that conflict between what we're talking about and what we're saying and what we're actually doing, and how we're not actually showing up. So it's like when we're in the planning phase, or when we're in the fun part about talking about it, when it makes me feel good to show up and be that type of person, I am giving you everything that you want to hear. I am right along with you. But the minute it comes to actually putting some kind of work into it, or actually like, making things happen, working together with these, what are these called? Gears. Putting our gears together and figuring out how to get them all to spin in the right direction to achieve something at one time, like physically actually showing up. No. And then there's total drama and action. And the action isn't, let's get this done, let's put the work into this. The action is grind to a halt and bolt. And in for some of you, it's in an explosive way. It's like in a, how do I want to say it? It's in a, like shock and awe is what's coming to my mind kind of way. It's like an exclamation point instead of a period. You know what I mean? It's like, no, it's not like a, I'm actually just going to bow out and unplug from this and be really super mature about it. But like, you know, this just really isn't for me, and I think I'm going to go a different direction. You know, it's like, F you and the horse you rode in on. You know what I mean? Kind of energy. I don't even know how to say it. Okay, I'm just feeling guided, so I'm listening to that. So here we go. I'm going to further clarify these three, and then we're going to dive in here, because I don't know, I feel like here is something, almost, it's like this is the background information, and then this is something that we need to look at right now. Okay. Look at this. My heart is opening and I'm ready. And yes, this is like, there's red flags, there's things here that we can see, but your energy is, I'm ready, I'm open to love, I'm gonna say yes to this experience, I'm gonna be brave, I'm gonna take a chance, I'm gonna really go for it here. These readings are brutally honest, and maybe I should put a trigger warning on it. I don't know. So, okay, this energy of setting the record straight, and then it says, my life is falling apart and I'm struggling within a few months. The thing is, it isn't for you to set the record straight. It's only for you to set the record straight with yourself and keep the record straight within yourself and know what you know. The fallout from the choices that this person made and what this person has done will show up in very quickly, like within a few months. You know, for some of you, maybe this is someone that broke up with you or made a different decision or chose something else or was like investing and then suddenly stopped investing, and maybe they went a different direction. Maybe they're dating someone else. That thing is gonna like blow up. It's gonna fall apart. For others of you, I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios here, but the universe has a way of balancing things out. You know, my terrible neighbor? Well, 2 days ago, my husband and I were leaving in our Jeep, and we're always like in such a good mood when we get in the Jeep, and we were doing something fun. And we drove past my neighbor's house, and he was outside and he waved, and just almost like out of reflex, and everyone in our neighborhood is very friendly, and so we all smile and wave at each other. My husband and I smiled and waved at him, and not that I would have made a different choice if I was conscious or whatever. I don't have a problem smiling and waving at anyone. But after that, then whenever I'm normally outside, he started normally being outside. And I was like, oh no, please do not think that we're going to be friends now because we waved at you. And I was just like, oh no, because I like my outside time. And so anyway, there was a really bad storm last night, and not last night, the night before. And it was the same day that he was like outside in his yard, like at the hottest part of the day. That's when I go out there, and I go out there to avoid him because he's never out there at that time. And I work on my garden, I have my dogs outside, you know. And so anyway, he was outside the whole time, and I felt like a prisoner. I felt trapped. I felt like I couldn't do what I wanted to do, and it was not a good feeling. And I was really like trying to meditate and rack my brain and really work through it with myself. Like, you know, okay, well, you could go outside. You could go outside and just not talk to him. You could, you know, but it was just like, I didn't want to deal with any of my choices. You know what I mean? A storm rolled through, and I never wish evil on anyone. We don't need to. A storm rolled through, and I heard this loud kaboom, and I said to my husband, I said, oh my gosh, I think the electricity went out in the neighborhood. We have a generator, so we never know if the electricity went out. And so my husband went out to see, and he was like, no, the electricity's on. And I said, no, I heard electricity frying, literally. And he was like, huh? Yesterday, all day long, there was an air conditioning repairman at his house. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is the Lord of Karma working on that situation, you know, like, you know, no matter what I would have done, there wasn't really a great answer for that kind of situation, really. And like, all of my teachings tell me to stay away from people like that. You just don't interact with them, is the only way you can handle it. And so that's what I chose to do. and I just didn't, I tried to hope that like it wasn't going to be a regular thing, and I, you know, asked for a benevolent outcome and prayed to my prayers and all that. I didn't ask for anything bad to happen to him, but look at that. What happened to him was his electricity or his air conditioning went out, and it is hot as heck in Florida right now. So this is one of those things where you gotta sometimes just set the record straight for yourself. Own what you need to own from the situation. Forgive yourself for what you need to forgive yourself for the situation, and let the rest go. Just give it up to the universe. Surrender it to the universe. Don't carry bitterness. Don't carry anger. Don't do those things, because it's only hurting yourself, you know? And sometimes there just isn't a good answer, but you just have to trust the universe. And it's telling you, the universe is telling you, like, this is this person's inability to face their true self. When we can't face our true self, we're going to have tower moment after tower moment trying to get us to face ourselves, you know, trying to get us to actually look at this and to change and to stop spewing our toxicity all over the world, and to, you know, show up for ourselves and others, you know. So don't worry, it's all going to come out in the wash here shortly. This person will get their just desserts. All right. And then, okay, listen. Oh man. So now, clarifying this pile, which is the total drama. And this is where it's like, it comes to actually showing up, and this person may go with some kind of shock and awe type situation instead of just, you know, maturely, you know, it's like that email when somebody leaves your company and they go, you know, they're pursuing their goals at some other place, you know, instead of like running around the office screaming and shouting all the terrible things that happen and sending an email out, you know, being like, I was treated unfairly, blah, 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 blah. You know, sometimes people do that, but like for the most part, people are pretty mature and will just say, I'm pursuing my options elsewhere. This person, I feel like, chose the like shock and awe energy. And it wasn't even, it was more just so they could blame you, more just so they could evade any responsibility or any fallout, or any further need to work through anything that would make them look at themselves in any other way than the way that they want to look at themselves. And so it says, unresolved. So much has happened between us in the past. Can we work through it again? This person's already thinking about coming back. Yeah, on the bottom of the deck, it says, I'm going to come sweep you away. Watch out, Pisces. Be careful here. All right. Insecure. What is hater? Wow. Okay. This is a situation here, Pisces, where you have insecure, and, you know, here's the thing. We're all insecure. We're all insecure on some level, somewhere inside us. There's something that can be triggered that can bring us to a place where we are insecure about something, or where we feel insecure. There are certain things people can say. There are certain ways we can be treated. There are certain things that can happen that make us question ourselves. You know, this is part of life. This is something that, you know, we are always, you know, trying to buttress ourselves against, right? And how do we buttress ourselves against it? Well, we show ourselves that we have nothing to be insecure about. We build a nest egg. We build stability and strength in our life. We make a life worth kind of talking about, worth you know, I don't know. It says, reach for high goals. Success is near. Winging it. Nest egg. Something to crow about. It's like we go out there and we prove to ourselves of what we are capable of. We don't avoid treacherous terrain. We take it on. We say to ourselves, you know what, you can do this, you can handle this, I bet you got this in the bag, you know, and we go out there and we do it. And we don't hide out and perpetuate lies that we're telling ourselves about ourselves in order to feel okay about ourselves. We actually do the thing. We actually live the life that makes us proud of who we are and proud of ourselves. And with this hater energy, it says it's just forked up, a real tine in the behind. And on the bottom of the deck, it says your dreams take flight, fluttering around, busy. So this hater energy, it's like, you know, someone may have actually developed feelings for you, and then they may have treated you the way that they always treat everything, because they're living a really egocentric life. And it's kind of annoying to them that there is this perpetual thought or this perpetual desire to get back with you, because if not for that, they would be smooth sailing into whatever situation they wanted to move into and just, okay, thank you, next kind of energy. But because there are actual feelings, because they actually want to come back around, or maybe it's even feeling based, it's just that energy of, we haven't resolved this. Like we don't know where we could have gone, or that was the happiest I ever was, or, you know, that hope, that dream, that goal, it was really keeping me going. It was the bright spot in my darkness. And now that I've lost it and I've lost you, and there's no way, I feel like, in a lot of senses, to really repair it or to do different, because I'd either have to face myself, which I don't want to do, or I'd have to face you, and I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Kind of energy that, you know, I'm sort of screwed over here with this, this like hope, this dream, this love, this desire in my head and in my heart. You know, especially if you guys are dealing with avoidance, which I know a lot of you are, there is this phenomenon, I guess is how I'm going to call it, that happens when you deal with an avoidant, that once the pressure is off the avoidant, they start really deeply falling in love with you again, because the pressure is off. The whatever was causing them to kind of boil or get to this place where they could no longer handle it and they had to duck out, the pressure is off. And so it gives them the time and the space to almost start to fall into this sense of nostalgia and into this sense of, you know, man, that was the best I ever had. Man, I was actually really happy back there. Man, I think that was the happiest I've ever been. Man, I really care about that situation a lot more than I want to admit. Man, I really messed that up. Man, I wonder what my chances are of coming back. You know, it's that kind of thought. And an avoidant can actually fall deeper in love with you when they're away from you. And in some respects, it can even almost sometimes be the idea of you, or where they would be if that had worked out, if they had only just, if blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But because they probably went off in some sort of grand style, you know, maybe not all of you, but it sure does feel like a lot of you. This feels like kind of this like grand finale, like, I'm going to put so much distance between me and it. And it's almost like to let the pressure out of the, do you guys ever cook with an Instapot? I don't, but I don't, because I was watching videos on it and like saw that people were getting burned by it. But it would totally be something I would do normally, but like, yeah, I never have. But that whole like letting the steam out, the thing that actually cooks the food, it's like that energy. It's like they had to do it, and they had to do it in such a way that it was like, that it was significant enough to give them the sense of relief that they needed from the pressure that they were feeling. you know, that it feels literally like a survival technique, much more so than like an intentional I'm trying to hurt you kind of feeling. But you know, this person has had the opportunity to face this insecurity or to face this mindset that keeps bringing them back to this place. It is hard. Always changing ourselves is the hardest thing in the world, right? Like, all of the things that we interact with are there for us, not necessarily to change, but to deeper understand ourselves and who we are and what we're capable of, and to get in touch with our soul purpose and our limitlessness, you know? And we don't need to abandon ourselves, and we don't need to, you know, sacrifice the things that we want, and we don't need to, you know, we can create the life that we want for ourselves. We really can. We are capable of it. I feel like, Pisces, part of what's happening here is this person's choices are starting to blow up in their face. And I think part of it is you're free to move on, and you're maybe moving on. You may have something coming in here, a real true love story coming in here. And this person may be about to see it. And the no, the opposite of this yes, is this bird right here. And it says, in the formative stage, immature, being hungry. It feels like this person's immaturity, or their lack of working on themselves, or their lack of saying, okay, this has happened, or this is how I am, or I am avoidant, or I am, you know, avoiding, you know, being emotionally vulnerable, or really having what I truly want in life because I'm in this comfort zone, or I'm in this safe place, or you know, I don't want to face my own ego or the truth or whatever. I want to continue feeling and feeding this perception of myself with myself and with everyone else. But the thing is, what they had with you, I feel like, was the thing that they probably actually really want. And it was probably maybe the most fulfilling experience they had. And so as you, as the distance grows between you, like, for whatever reason this is coming into my head, you know how a dog knows when you're about to come home? They can tell by how much scent of you is left in the house or in the room. And it's kind of like this person, I'm just feeling this. It's like they were filled up on you to the point where they may have stopped appreciating you. And then as the time and the distance grow, they're falling deeper in love with you, and they're feeling a deeper sense of desperation and longing to be with you. And yet they're not facing the one thing that they really need to face to bring this about. It's, and it's almost like when they're hungriest, or when they're in the height of being most in love with you, something comes in for you. And it feels karmic, and not for you, but for them. It feels like part of their lesson. I mean, Spirit is really trying to get a hold of this person and really trying to help them to see, you know, themselves. And wow, so on this insecure energy, it says unrequited. I'm not sure if we both feel the same way about each other. You know, Pisces, so there's a little situation here. I feel like this could be a little bit your energy, where, you know, these situations that happen where you're investing and someone else isn't investing, they do sometimes cause us to question our worth, or why didn't they choose us, or why didn't they show up, or it was a simple thing, it was $10 out of every paycheck. That's not that big a deal. Like, why couldn't they just do it? I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, for some people, $10 out of their paycheck is a big deal, but I'm just saying, like, if you know that to be the case. But it's kind of like, so then you question, like, did they ever feel this way about me? Was it ever real? Did they ever, you know, we go into these real questioning modes. And I feel like Spirit, you know, I feel like you got redirected though into this energy of putting your energy where it's going to be most useful for you. And it's almost like, you know, with this mountain here, with this yes, and it says reach for high goals, success is near. I feel like it's you may even have other obstacles in your life, but it's literally telling you you have what it takes to get through this, and you know it. You have a deep inner knowing of yourself when it comes down to it. When you question and question and question and you get to the bottom of it, and at the bottom of it, it's like, yes, actually, you are fabulous. Yes, actually, you can overcome this. Yes, actually, turn your face in the direction of the things that matter when you put energy to them, and see what happens when you put energy to them. And you do, and you have success, and you actually climb to greater heights. You actually, you know, everything that has sought to bring you down has actually catapulted you forward. I think that energy even came out yesterday in yesterday's reading. And so with this, with the hater, it's like the person who's actually sort of envious and looking at you from the outside, you know, wishing they could be this honest with themselves, wishing that they could take on big challenges. This person really can't take on a big challenge because the risk of failure is too great. The risk that they would have to face some part of themselves that doesn't go along with their perception of themselves or other people's perception of them. It keeps them living a small life. It keeps them from actually really taking a risk when it comes right down to it. And you see here, it says surrender. I can't be apart from you much longer. It's this energy. I'm not like calling any human a dog, even though for a lot of humans, I do feel like that is a compliment. This is saying, it is that feeling of like, you know, when you first leave, your dog is like, okay, they're like bummed out. You didn't listen. My dog is talking suddenly now that I'm talking about this. So I feel like it is confirmation. Oh, I got that. Yeah. Bhakti. Baba. It's that energy of like when you first leave the house, your dog is okay. And your dog is like, all right, you know, they just left. I'm calmed and I'm soothed by the scent of them that's still here in the house, you know? And then as the hours pass and the scent begins to fade, they get much more desperate for that sense of calm they feel when your scent is near them, right? So it's this feeling, I can't be apart from you much longer. And here, you're about to fly free, Pisces. You're about to go on in a different direction. I think you have something coming in. So, and on the bottom of the deck, it says, I promise you. So I actually feel like you have a very strong relationship coming towards you. For some of you, could it be this past person getting their act together? Maybe, you know, and with ring, that implies something in the material world, an actual commitment, like no more, I promise you, with words, but I promise you with this ring, with a physical, tangible thing. All right, so here we go. For Pisces, please, Spirit. Shoot. Wow. Pisces. My God, I think, you know, Spirit is really, really, really trying to bolster your confidence here, or like, you know, bring you a sense of hang in there. You know what I mean? You have the 5 of coins with the King of Wands, the Star card, the 2 of Wands, and then the Chariot on the bottom of the deck. Pisces, this is telling you, yeah, there was a loss. There was some kind of loss. And, you know, the 5 of coins is a really tricky energy, because for me, the 5 of coins is always like the fears that we all carry, that we all have, the fear of intimacy, the fear of abandonment, all those fears. We all fall somewhere on the spectrum of that. And, you know, there are certain losses that we take in life that trigger our innate, you know, fear that we all have within us, and can sometimes inflame them, or, you know, depending on where we fall on the spectrum, can really like trigger us deeply. But with the King of Wands, the Star card, and the 2 of Wands here, there's this much bigger energy right next to it, which is saying like, you're about to get what you want, Pisces. You're about to have a wish fulfilled, and that everything does happen for a reason. And sometimes you get what you don't want in order to have a real firm control over what you do want, and the energy and the desire and the motivation to actually go out and do it. With the Two of Wands, you know, this card is always, for me, it's like there's the past and there's the future and there's the present. And in the present, the decisions and the choices that we're making can sometimes be so big that they actually define this time as a very important time. Like, oh yeah, that's when I decided that. Or, you know, anything before that is like, oh yeah, that's before I made that big decision to take on that huge obstacle and to just do it in life. You know what I mean? Or that's after I made that big decision. That's when things really started getting good for me. You know, that's the kind of energy of the Two of Wands. It's like, you know, we're at that crossroads and we can make big decisions that really do define this space and this time in our life. And with the Chariot here, you're going nowhere but up. The Chariot is a card that, it first of all is a major arcana, just like the Star card. To get the Star card and the Chariot card, it's almost like assured success and victory. You're going somewhere. You're headed toward success and victory. You're headed toward wish fulfillment. You're headed toward a much more hopeful and optimistic sense of your life. You know, this may be the last great loss that you suffer. It may be the loss that you suffer that causes you to take up arms on your own behalf and really, you know, stop living small and just actually really just, if this is not in alignment with what I want, it is not for me and I'm done. You know, this is all about what you want, what defines you and what you are capable of, and what, you know, it's not like you trying to cater to someone else's needs to somehow kind of end up getting what you want, you know. This is, no, I know what I want, and I'm a very powerful being, and I'm healing, and I'm, you know, I'm accepting that I'm in this place for an important reason, and that this is meant to be, and that I am at this crossroads on purpose. And what path am I going to choose? What path reflects how I feel about myself, what I know I'm capable of. You know, I've questioned it, I've wondered, I've looked at it, I've hurt, I've been sad, I have suffered, I've been triggered. You know, my deepest fears have been triggered here. But at the end of the day, and at the pit of it all, I know I am capable of success and victory. I know I am capable. And that belief in yourself is what drives you and catapults you toward the actual experience of success and victory. And with the Chariot, there is the sense of yoking up with another person who's equally matched to you. This may be the story that is the story you have to tell to show why where you are is so important at some point in your life. You've got the Four of Cups clarifying that Five of Pentacles. This is an energy of boredom and discontent, like not ever getting what you really want, feeling like everything is a missed opportunity, feeling like nothing ever really works out. Like at the end of the day, it's always just another loss, another loss, another loss, you know? But with the Empress clarifying the King of Wands, the Star card, and the Two of Wands, this is literally telling you, this is the universe telling you, your wish is my command. You know, you are a limitless creator. The Empress, nothing is impossible for the Empress. She is fully capable of completely providing not just for herself, but her entire village. You know, she is the birth giver. She is the life bringer. She is, you know, the harbinger of a new beginning that is successful and abundant. And, you know, it comes a lot from connecting with your true divine feminine and opening up to receive what it is you want. And with the King of Wands and the Empress, it is this careful balance between making the choices and physically actively going after what you want, pursuing it, but then also etherically and spiritually being willing to receive it, being open to receiving it. sometimes reception is the hardest thing, especially if we are givers and especially if we are doers. You know, receiving, and you know, I think the easiest way to know how you respond to reception is, how do you respond when someone gives you a compliment? Is it hard for you to take? Are you kind of embarrassed? Do you sort of want to repel it? Do you not want that type of attention on yourself? Or are you like, yes, thank you for recognizing me. I really appreciate that you like my outfit, or that you think I did a good job here. Thank you for, how are you when it comes to a compliment? Because that is a big indicator on how receptive you are to receiving, the wonders and stuff of life. King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. I feel like you have a very strong, stable partnership coming towards you. I feel like you have caught the eye, or you will catch the eye of someone who knows the value of someone else and is solid and stable on their own. And for whatever reason, I feel guided to say, and a bit lonely. It's the only thing they're missing in their life is you. It's funny, I tell you, I'm reading those King Arthur. It's a trilogy of books, and they have symbols that they paint on their shields. And the storyteller in this book, Durfel, he has painted the 5-pointed star. That's the symbol on his shield and his men's shields. And the reason is because he actually fell in love with, I have no idea how you say her name, but like I say it Sinwin when I read it. So if it's wrong, I don't really care because I'm reading, but if I'm pronouncing it wrong, then I'm sorry on this channel. But she was betrothed to Arthur. She was supposed to marry Arthur. And at the last minute, at their betrothal ceremony, actually, Guinevere came into the hall where they were celebrating after the betrothal ceremony, and he saw her, Arthur saw her, and fell so madly in love that he never married Sinwin. He ran off and had this like crazy marriage with Guinevere. But Durfel, his right-hand man, ended up completely falling in love with her. And so when she was called the Star. Her father gave her the name the Star because she was beautiful. She had blonde hair, and she was just absolutely beautiful and very special. And so her father nicknamed her the Star. So when Durfel had to decide what symbol was going to be on the shields of him and his men, he chose the Star, and it was for her. And so anyway, with this King of Pentacles, it's like, and it was, he thought there was no way he was ever going to have a chance to marry her or to be with her or to really actually love her in real life, because he was the son of a slave and, a warrior in Arthur's tribe. He wasn't like a king, and she was a princess. And so, it was just this love that would never be able to be actualized, but he was so dedicated to her. He was more dedicated. He made an oath to her, and he was more dedicated to her than he was to like anybody or anything else, and there was nothing that he wanted more to protect than her. And so it's just like seeing that on this particular King of Pentacles card, and it's like on a book. It's making me feel like, Pisces, we never know when or where we're going to find that person. It may be completely impractical. It may even feel like a pipe dream. I don't want to tell you what happens in case you guys decide to read the books, but yeah, it's a good sign. Yeah. So you have the Queen of Cups with the 2 of Coins in reverse here with the 7 of Wands. And, Pisces, this is like that energy of I don't want no scrubs, It's that energy of I don't want someone who goes back and forth and who's unreliable, and someone who 1 minute is all in and someone at the blink of an eye can just be out. You know, I'm protecting myself against that. I know I deserve more. I know I'm worth more. I know the value of what I have to give deserves more than this. You know, and so I have to turn my back and keep my back turned on this, because this is almost like a threat. It's almost like, you know, this is the thing that can upset my apple cart, you know. I'm looking for someone who can show up and can see the value of me and what I have to give and what I have to offer. And I'm not turning around. I'm not looking back for things that are not that. Yeah, 9 of Cups. I can make my own self happy. Holy moly. Guys, look at these cards, clarifying these cards. Wow, with the King of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Some of you may be dealing with a fire sign. Some of you may have fire in your chart. So this could also just be representational of the energy of when we know what we really want and when we are willing to like really go for it. But with the Queen of Cups being clarified by the 9 of Cups, there's just a sense of, you know, I have fought for my own happiness, my own emotional contentment with myself, and I'm not going to sacrifice it for someone who isn't sure, or who goes back and forth, or who 1 minute is completely in and says they're investing, only to find out they never invested and were robbing me blind. Like, I don't need that kind of experience in my life. I've had that, I've done that, I've been there, I'm done. With the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, with the Ace of Swords upright and the 10 of Cups upright, this is absolute clarity on what the 10 of Cups actually is. And it is someone who is fully present and showing up. You know, it is someone who is sitting beside me physically in real life. It is someone who is, you know, there for me and ever present in my life and cares about the things I care about and just would sit on a bench and talk with me. We don't need any like big major thing going on, or, you know, they are really plugged into this relationship. And with the Ace of Swords, it's like clarity and transparency, and it's communication, and it's like there's nothing I can't say to this person. You know, if you're talking to an avoidant and you say the wrong thing, that avoidant's going to run for the freaking hills. Like, this is someone that it's like I don't have to walk on eggshells around. It's like I can just say what I need to say, or I know that you're not going to disappear. We're going to be able to work through this situation. And when I find that, I will go for it, you know, and every decision I'm making until I find that is a means to that end. It is, you know, I'm going to choose to love myself. I'm going to choose to not compromise my own emotional contentment unless someone proves that they are worthy of sitting next to me on that bench and that they're content with that. I'm going to protect myself. We have the 8 of Coins with the 2 of Cups, the Lovers, and the Hangman with the 5 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. You know, our thoughts, you know, we can really talk to ourselves and we get ourselves to a really solid place and be like, yeah, no matter what, like, I am not going to let someone in unless they earn it. But then we get lonely, we get sad, we don't have a place to put this energy, this love that we have to give, this love that we want to share, this desire to love and be loved. And then our thoughts with the 5 of Swords can sort of corrupt us. They can sort of bring us to places of vulnerability. They can bring us, you know, to this kind of self-defeating situation where we're like, well, maybe it's never going to happen, you know, where we give up on this strong energy of focusing on our own emotional contentment and doing what we need to do for ourselves and not compromising and not letting people in that, you know, aren't really there showing up in a wholehearted way. You know, we start to go, oh, but, you know, and those thoughts, they do it to us with the 5 of Swords. These are self-defeating thoughts. With the 8 of Coins, this may be something that we're trying to master, or this may be our opportunity to master this energy at this time. The 8 of Coins is that, you know, self-mastery. It's that I put the work in day after day. It's not easy, But, you know, I tell myself when these thoughts come up, this is not serving my highest and best good. This is taking me in the wrong direction. These thoughts are not aligned with where I'm going or the future that I see for myself. These thoughts are not serving me. I'm serving these thoughts. And that's not the right dynamic for me. I'm no longer aligned that way. I need to release this. I need to let go of this. You know, I don't have to go down this path if I don't want to. The thoughts are the one thing that I really do have control over in this life. This thought may be persistent and it may keep coming up, but I never have to follow it to its end or go down the windy, you know, path, fall down the rabbit's hole with it, unless I choose to, you know. But if it's not serving my highest and good, I can choose, and I can choose. With the Two of Cups, the Lovers, and the Hangman, this is an energy of saying, I've come to a place of complete peace with my past. Looking back on it, going over it, isn't going to help me anymore. I see it clearly for what it is. I've taken those lessons. I have learned from them. I am now empowered by knowing what I don't want or what didn't work to know fully and welly, like what does and what I do want. And with the Lovers and the Two of Cups, I'm choosing only healthy relationships. And healthy relationships start with me, with myself, with the Hangman energy and the Lovers. And so I'm going to choose this pure clarity and this acceptance that I've come to with the past. I'm not going to keep revisiting it. And I know what I'm focused on. I know what a healthy relationship is. I know where I'm going, and I trust that if I maintain a focus and a vision and really maintain my strength and don't let these errant thoughts that want to take me away from it, then you know what? I'm going to end up there, because what you think about, you bring about. And two, the problem that we have sometimes is that if we feel like what we think about, we bring about, and then it doesn't happen, you know, we sort of start to go, oh, see, it's not going to happen. But it's like, dude, whose time frame are you on? You know, like, relax, it's coming. You just have to keep having faith, and you just have to, you know, keep practicing, and keep practicing. There's no set time frame. It's not like, oh, this is going to be delivered to you at the end of the week. If you can just manage your thoughts for a week, it's a life system. It's a change in you forever, you know, controlling your thoughts. With the Eight of Pentacles being clarified by the Queen of Cups, this is definitely you with you, Pisces. It's definitely like an opportunity for you to work on this. With the Two of Cups, the Lovers, and the Hangman being clarified by the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Again and again and again and again, Spirit is telling you, wishy-washy people, unbalanced people, people that sometimes choose love and then sometimes choose fear. This is not what we are looking for. This is not what keeps something going, you know, because look at this card even. It's like this one really determined person trying to keep all of it together, you know, trying to outrun the problems, outrun the imbalance, outrun the up and down nature of it, the instability of it, you know, trying to hold it all together themselves. You know, look, this is what we really want. This is what we really need to focus on, this Ten of Pentacles energy of, you know, this true investment by two people, you know, contributing, that is building something solid and stable. So Pisces, I don't know where you're at with this, but it does seem like you do have something really good coming in. And there is this energy of just trust it. You know, don't, you know, just trust it. Believe in yourself. Believe that you are capable of big things, and trust it. If you're dealing with a water sign, you're getting forgiving yourself or another will help you move forward, always. I wish I had treated you better. I know you don't feel the same. I find you so attractive, and I daydream about a life with you. If you're dealing with a fire sign, children are important to this partnership. I feel so happy with you. Does this situation align with your values and morals? I trusted you. I wish we could go back. I don't know how to feel. And it's time to decide about this relationship. If you're dealing with an earth sign, an addiction is affecting this relationship. This can be like, I'm addicted to my perception of myself and my perception of my relationship, or who I am, or how other people see me. An external party is intruding on this relationship. I can't do this. You inspire me. I wonder how you feel. You know, sometimes people wonder how you feel very selfishly. Like, of course, it's going to feed that ego even further to think that there's someone out there that just can't get over them. You know what I mean? I don't know. If you're dealing with an air sign, I love you. I can't be with you. Clear your energy field and focus on yourself before acting. This is a destined partnership. Someone is undergoing a spiritual transformation. Pisces, this is what I have for you. Let me know. Like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me how you feel. I really appreciate every single one of you, and I am sending you off today with a ton of love and all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.